right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, call I'm La, Ahayna, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Hawakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. We want to teach you all and heart Shalom to the elect. All right, this lesson is going to be about the eyes of the Lord, okay? The Lord sees any and everything, okay? Remember that everything is predestinated. So everything that is out here that's happening, has happened, the Lord made it happen and he's watching it, okay? So I Googled the eyes of the Lord, and this is what the AI overview said. It says, the eyes of the Lord is a biblical phrase signifying Yahweh's constant, all-knowing, omnipresent, and omniscient awareness and watchfulness over everything and everyone, seeing both the good and the evil, providing guidance and offering support to the righteous, while also judging the wicked, okay? It conveys Yahweh's personal, ever-caring presence and his readiness to act on behalf of those with loyal hearts, as seen in Proverbs 15:3 and 2 Chronicles 16:9. All right, we're going to read some of those. All right, so I got some more scriptures too. Just want to point out in this lesson that you're going to see that the eyes of the Lord is, he sees everything, okay? And he's going to show one of his prophets the things that he saw so that the prophet can understand the wickedness that Israel, specifically Judah, was committing in the Holy Land, okay? This is 2 Chronicles chapter 16. And I'm going to start at verse 9. I'm going to start at 8. It says, were not the Ethiopians and the Lubims a huge host with very many chariots and horsemen? Yet because thou didst rely on Yahweh, he delivered them into thine hand. So when we rely on the Lord, all right, the Lord's going to protect us. When we rely on Yahweh Shem Shai, the Lord's going to protect us. Let me look up that word, rely. We need to have confidence in the Lord. We need to have trust in the Lord. All right. We need to rely on the Lord. All right. The word for rely is sha'an. Okay.
Strong's H8172. Sha'an. Sha'an.
It says to lean on, trust in. Okay. All right. To lean upon, support oneself. All right. Of trusting Yahweh. Okay. I'm just looking at the. All right, it says here in the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon, it says metaphorically to repose confidence in anyone, or person, in any person or thing. All right. So basically, to have faith. All right. The scriptures say, I can't remember off the top of my head, where the Lord's gonna be graceful or merciful to those that trust Him. Okay. Go read 2 Samuel, it might be 1 Samuel, the 22nd chapter, with King David. Yeah, 2 Samuel, the 22nd chapter, all right? But here's the point, verse 9, it says, for the eyes of Yahweh run to and fro throughout the whole earth. All right, the Lord's eyes are everywhere, all right? And we know the eyes of the Lord are the angels, okay? all right, to shew himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. Herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. All right, but the eyes of the Lord look everywhere. They see everything. Okay, they're around everything. All right. So there's nothing that the Lord doesn't see or doesn't know is going to or has already happened or will happen. Okay. All right. So let's go to the point of this lesson in Ezekiel the 8th chapter. I'm going to start at the 5th verse. I'm going to read through. It says here, it's only 18 precepts. I'm going to start at 1. It says, and it came to pass, this is Ezekiel 8 and 1. And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house, and the elders of Judah sat before me, that the hand of Yahweh fell upon me fell there upon me. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward fire, and from his loins even upward as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber. and he put forth the form of his hand, and took me by a lock of mine head, and the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the visions of Yahweh to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provoked to jealousy. All right, so Ezekiel saw the visions that the Lord saw. Okay, showing you that the Lord sees everything. He's about to show them to Ezekiel. Because that word for it says here, and brought me in the visions of power to Jerusalem. All right, reading in verse 3. Verse 4 it says here, and behold, the glory of the power of Israel was there according to the vision that I saw in the plain. So he's talking about, he saw the Lord in what he read in what we read in chapter 2. All right, in chapter 2, chapter 1 and 2. All right, so he's saying he saw the same thing he saw in the plain, which is in chapters 1 and 2. It says, verse 5, then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up thine eyes now the way toward the north. So I lifted up my eyes the way toward the north, and behold, northward of the gate of the altar of the image of jealousy in the entry. And he said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seest thou what they do, even the great abominations that the house of Israel committeth here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary, but turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations. So the Lord was showing Ezekiel the things that the Lord saw. Okay, he saw the Lord's people. The Lord saw his people committing idolatry. Okay. It says here, verse 7, and he brought me to the door of the court. When I looked, behold, which means to see or look, a hole in the wall. Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. All right, this is just, it's not repeating itself, but what's being repeated is the Lord is allowing Ezekiel to see what the Lord saw. So my point is, the Lord sees all the things that humans do, all right, even in secrecy, all right. It says here, so I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things and abominable beasts and all the idols of the house of Israel portrayed upon the wall round about. And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel, and in the midst of them stood Jazaniah, the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. And they're worshiping those idols. Okay. Then said he unto me, Son of man, hast thou seen what the angels of the house of Israel do in dark every man in the chambers of his imagery? For they say, Yahweh seeth us not, Yahweh hath forsaken the earth. Well, that's not the case, because the Lord sees it. Then when you hear the prophets talking about the things that the Lord has done or is going to do because of the abominations that the people do, the Lord sees it. Okay? This is an example of that. In verse 13, he said also unto me, turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations that they do. Then he brought me to the door of the gate of Yahweh's house, which was toward the north, and behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz, all right, which is some, I believe, an Assyrian god, okay? Off the top of my head, don't know it. I just know it's an idol, okay? Let me see. Let me go here and look. It's a Sumerian deity, okay? All right, it's a Samaritan deity, a Sumerian deity, a Sumerian god, okay? Verse 15, then said he unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Turn thee yet again, and thou shalt see greater abominations than these. So the Lord sees all these abominations that the whole house of Israel, both the northern and southern kingdom, has done, okay, while in the land, all right? And even outside the land, we are outside the land of Israel, and you can see the abomination that your people are doing. I don't think the Lord can't see them. Okay, verse 16. And he brought me in the house, and he brought me into the inner court of Yahweh's house, and behold, at the door of the temple of Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men, with their backs toward the temple of Yahweh, and their face toward the east, and they worshiped the sun toward the east. So sun worshiping. All right. Then he said unto me, hast thou seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? They in the house of the Lord, worshiping idols. Okay. It says, for they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger, and lo, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore I will also deal in fury, mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet I will not hear them. So my point in reading these verses, all right, this chapter, was to show you that the Lord sees everything, okay, the good and the bad. In this case, particularly the bad, okay? And what I mean by bad is the Lord's people are out here idol worshiping, okay? All right? Got a few more scriptures. This is Proverbs chapter 15. In verse 1, it says, a soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness. Here's the point. The eyes of Yahweh are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. All right, the eyes of the Lord, they're seeing everything, the evil and the good. There's nothing that you can get away with by doing in the eyes of the Lord. All right, there's nothing. All right. Let me see. All right, let me go to I think it's 1 Peter 3. This is 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 12. It says, for the eyes of Yahweh are over the righteous, and his ears are open unto their prayers, but the face of Yahweh is against them that do evil. All right, the Lord is the Lord sees everything. If you have your face towards something, that means you can see it. All right. So the Lord can see the good and the evil. All right. The Lord is there. He created it. All right. Isaiah 45:7. Okay. This is in the book of Sirach, chapter 23, verse 19. It says, "Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not." Let me go up. It says, "A man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, Who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness, the walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins." All right. And this is what those individuals were thinking when they were out there in these certain places, idol worshiping. Okay. As we had read in Ezekiel, the 8th chapter. Okay. You cannot hide. Nothing can be hid from the Lord. Nothing is hid from the Lord. All right. It says, verse 19, "Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and not knoweth that the eyes of the Lord Yahweh are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts." All right. So the Lord knows and sees everything. So you can't pull nothing over the eyes of the Lord. You can't, what they say, pull the wool over the eyes. All right, pulling the wool over the eyes. All right, the Lord sees everything. You cannot do something the Lord don't know about it. First and foremost, the Lord made you do what it is that you think you're gonna get away with. All right, and then on top of that, you're not gonna get away with it because you're gonna be seen. Okay, Lord Williams, edified to the next time. Shalom.